What is up? What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, happy Monday, everybody. Hopefully, you all have had a fantastic weekend. I personally did. Me and the fam went apple picking in Indiana, and we had a lot of fun. I don't think I've ever went apple picking before, and if I did, I don't remember it. And it was a glorious time. And while we were there, of course, since we were in Fever Country, we had to see something Caitlin/Fever related. And randomly, next to a cornfield, we saw a Caitlin and Indiana based basketball game. I posted a photo in my community tab, so you can watch that if you can look at that if you want. But yeah, basically Fever's everywhere. Even if you are not expecting it, you will probably see something Fever related if you are in Indiana. So that's your random bit of the day. But anyway, we got a lot to talk about, guys, because Quita in the morning starts now.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, guys. Let's talk about it because I got some exciting news to share with you all. And it is the fact that women's college basketball is here. It's basically here, with everything officially kicking off on November the 3rd. But while we have about a week and some change left to go, that does not mean that we don't have stuff to talk about, because there is absolutely stuff to talk about when it comes to women's college basketball, because exhibitions have started already between various teams, and that's been really fun to see. What has been your favorite exhibition game that you've seen so far? Let me know. Ooh, shout out to Kina. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Kina. It gives a blue heart. I appreciate the support, Kina. Really do. Thank you. But yeah, Kina, are you excited about women's college basketball and how it is starting? I'm just saying. I'm very, very, very much excited. Gemini says, I'm going to the UConn game this weekend. Oh, nice. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Olivia says, I'm so bored waiting for college. I mean, yes, I understand. I understand. Women's college basketball is just a glorious time every single year. And you never know necessarily what to expect. But I do want to talk about one exhibition game in particular, and this one was actually between NC State and High Point. And this was a game that happened on Saturday where, yes, NC State did get the win, 77 to 69. However, shout out to High Point, because High Point, I kind of consider them mid-major darlings, where they're extremely good in their conference, and they seem to have a good shot to make the NCAA tournament just about every single year. This is a team that, yes, cannot compete with the Power Fives just yet, but High Point is fun. It absolutely is fun. They're a fun team. But I do have to say that this game was still, even though High Point is better than some people give them credit for, it still was very close. A very close game, much closer than what I expected coming in. But it was really, really good to get a quick look at this NC State roster, because remember, guys, there's been a lot of changes. This is a very different team than in the past. And I actually wanted to use that game as sort of a jumping off point to talk about NC State this season. And W. Bazil says, what was the high point of the game? Oh my God, I love that. That is hilarious. It's Mo says, is there any way to go back and watch exhibition games? I don't know. You can check YouTube and just type in the games and see if someone posted them on YouTube. I'm not totally sure. I know, like, the UConn game, I forgot exactly who they played. I believe that is on YouTube, but it's up to individuals to like put it up or not. But anyway. All right. So we are on this channel. We're going to be going through a series of previews where I'm going to be sort of doing a deeper dive into the various teams. And we're going to talk about what to expect this season from XYZ team. All right. So yes, today we're going to go through NC State, but as days go on, we're going to go through your favorite team. So regardless if your favorite team is South Carolina, or maybe your favorite team is Louisville or Iowa or Iowa State or USC, whatever your favorite team is in college, we will be going through it, okay? We'll be going through it, and so keep it locked on this channel for the next week and some change, because as we are chugging along to the start of the women's college basketball season, remember, November the 3rd, every single day, we will be giving you previews of different teams every single day. So hopefully y'all are excited about that. And let's kick it off by talking about NC State. Not yesterday. On Saturday, NC State took on High Point. And the team was led by Swedish big woman and sophomore Tilda Trieger, who dropped a double-double in Saturday's game. We also saw Caden Samuels from UConn. The UConn transfer dropped 14 points, 8 rebounds. We also saw Zam Jones add in 12 points as well. NC State does have another preseason exhibition game this week against Maryland. All right. Now, with that out the way, I do want to do the preview about what we can expect from NC State this season, because in a lot of ways, this is a new look team. This is not the same NC State of last year. Now, of course, they bring back the 4-time ACC Coach of the Year, Wes Moore, who is at the helm once again, coming into his 13th season as the head coach of NC State. Fun fact, guys, this man's record at NC State is immaculate. His record overall is immaculate, but 76% winning percentage with NC State as the head coach. The team so far has gone 301 wins, 95 losses with Wes Moore at the helm. He really is sort of in that elite category when it comes to coaches in women's college basketball. Last year, in a lot of ways, was a banner year for the Pack. They went undefeated at home. They also got six ranked wins throughout the season and finished the season ranked number 9. Right? The team last season was, of course, led by the NC State Stars, Sanaya Rivers and Isaiah James, who was in their final year at NC State last year. They gave it all they got, right? Isaiah James finished with averaging a career high 17.9 points a game, along with 4.9 rebounds a game, 2.6 assists per game. She also finished her career at NC State's 12th in points overall, and also she finished 7th in 3-point field goals made with the Pack. So some career numbers for Isaiah James last year. And then, of course, you have her partner in crime, Sanaya Rivers, who averaged 11.9 points per game. She led the team in assists per game with 8.3, and also steals per game and blocks per game as well. Defensively, Sanaya Rivers is an absolute beast, and her and Isaiah James absolutely did their thing last year. And speaking of what they did during the regular season, they also made some Wolfpack history in the 2025 WNBA draft, as Sanaya and Isaiah made history becoming the first time that NC State has had 2 players drafted in the first round of the WNBA draft, with Sanaya Rivers being drafted number 8 to Connecticut and Isaiah James being drafted 12th to the Dallas Wings. The Pack also lose Madison Hayes, who was a huge piece for the Wolfpack last year due to college ineligible. I mean, she's out of... Guys, I randomly had my alarm on. That scared me. I was like, what is that? Anyway, guys, let's continue on. That alarm scared the mess out of me. Oh my God. Anyway. So you have Sanaya Rivers, Isaiah James, Madison Hayes. They're all gone to the WNBA. Madison Hayes, she was picked up after the draft, but ultimately did not make a WNBA roster for the regular season. So you lose some players, some key players, right? You also lose what I would consider 3 non-impactful players to the portal for NC State. You pick up some players, including Kaden Samuels from UConn, who has not done a ton with UConn, primarily because UConn just has too much talent, and she just hasn't really had an opportunity to make mistakes and play through it at UConn. And so it's a really good thing. It's a really, really good thing that she ended up entering the transfer portal because, yeah, Kaden Samuels was not going to play this year for UConn, and it's good to see her at NC State because NC State, she has an opportunity to actually be a starter for the year. And in my opinion, she has a huge opportunity to have a breakout season. So Kaden Samuels, not a big pickup when it comes to the transfer portal, but I think she can turn out to be to have a huge season this year for NC State because she's going to get way more opportunities than she ever got at UConn. But the big player that I think is going to have a gigantic season for NC State is this lady on the screen right here. Her name is Camille Pierre. And Camille Pierre, if y'all remember her, she was the Vandy sensation last year. She was absolutely flat out amazing. She is someone who averaged a career high last season, 20.4 points per game. She shot 49% from the field, 9.6 rebounds per game, 2.9 steals per game. Her and Michaela Blake's were all that and a bag of chips for Vandy. And Camille Pierre made the surprise decision to actually hit the transfer portal. Now, I fully expected Camille Pierre to actually go back to Vandy. I expected her and Michaela Blake's to run it back, and I was expecting to see Shay Ralph and the Vandy program just make that additional leap in women's college basketball. But that didn't happen, guys. That did not happen at all. As Camille Pierre made the decision to, you know what, I'm into the transfer portal. I am going to enter the transfer portal, and I am about to make some things shake. And again, so surprised about her decision to enter the transfer portal. But I tell you this, NC State has an absolute star on their hands, right? And when Camille Pierre was actually asked about the decision to move over to NC State, she said, quote, "I'm very thankful just to be where I am. Honestly, when the whole process started, I was unsure that I would even return to playing basketball." Shocker for someone who's averaging 20 points per game. I'm just saying. Anyway, back to what Camille Pierre said, quote, "I think that's how big of an effect it had on my mental health. Just to be back and be around people who are uplifting. I don't talk about it a lot, but it means a lot to me. I'm just super thankful to be where my feet are." Now that is a quote that Camille Pierre ended up saying. Again, the fact that she was not even sure if she was going to return to women's college basketball is a surprise, because truly I didn't know that, right, until I was like, listening to like some of the stuff that she was saying in terms of like the various quotes and whatnot. But that's huge. right? Someone who was averaging 20 points per game, one of the best players in the country last year, was possibly going to walk away from college basketball. And so I'm happy that she was able to, stay with it and move over to NC State, where she's going to have a huge impact, right? Remember, guys, a fun fact about Camille Pierre. Did you know that she was number 1 in field goals made in the SEC last year? Number 1, Camille Pierre. She was also number 2 in steals per game in the SEC. Camille Pierre was number 3 in rebounds per game in the SEC. And number 4 in points per game. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Field goals, steals, rebounds, points. What I am trying to say is that Camille Pierre is an absolute game changer. And the fact that NC State was able to pick someone like that up, literally one of the best players in the SEC last year. Literally one of the best players. And so it's like, dog, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? This is absolutely huge of a pickup. So I just wanted to go through some stuff to be like, yeah, Camille Pierre is a dog. Straight up. And she was doing that in the SEC. Basically the hardest conference in women's college basketball. Y'all, the ACC, she's probably going to be player of the year. I'm just saying. Probably going to be player of the year for Camille Pierre. And that's who NC State picked up. All right? That's who they picked up in the transfer portal. As a real surprise get. For one, her even entering the portal, and then two, her making the decision to go to NC State. And I just randomly, did y'all know that? Did y'all know how big of a player that Camille Pierre really is? And like what she did for the SEC last year? Just saying. I feel like there's a lot of times where we don't really appreciate the impact that players have, and we may not recognize it in the moment. But I just wanted to give Camille Pierre her flowers for truly how amazing she was last year. Like truly how amazing she was last year. Like this is not a fluke, guys. She's a straight up baller. And Mr. President is trying to get some food. Hold on. Let me move this thing. He's trying to get some food. Get down. Sorry, guys. This is very live. This is really, really live. Okay? So, not only do you add in Kaden Samuels as a transfer, you add in Camille Pierre, who is, in my opinion, one of the best, who's one of the best players in the ACC already, with her going to the team. Okay, so y'all didn't really know. Okay, y'all did not really know. Well, now you know. Because it's Mike's Super Short Show. Y'all remember that? Any fans of Mike's Super Short Show that was on Disney Channel? I'm just saying. Okay. Also, another fun fact. You want to know some more fun facts? Did you know that Camille Pierre had 17 double-doubles last year? 15th most nationwide. Right? This is someone who scored 42 points last season. Now, it was against Evansville, so, like, not the best of teams, but still, still is a big deal. Anyway, I'm just going down the list. Anyway, let's move on. And let's talk about the rest of the players that the Pack has, because they do have some more stars on this team and some more players who I think are going to have fantastic, if not breakout seasons for the Pack. And Tisha said, I love that show. And Mr. President, these kids are so funny. Yeah, Mr. President is crazy. Yes, the stat girl. Yes, Dominique Malonga did get injured. We'll talk about that more in just a sec. Okay. All right. Kentucky Rick says, I never heard of Tanaya Latson before your special on her last year. Thanks for keeping us informed. Yeah, I mean, all day. I got y'all. It really is my focus to make sure that you all know what's going on, right? So let's kind of move on. So not only did the team lose 3 very impactful players to the WNBA last year, not only did they lose 3 what I would call non-impactful players to the transfer portal, they gained 2 players from the transfer portal. One being a player who didn't do much, but will have a breakout season this year in Kaden Samuels. And then someone who was flat out amazing last year, who is going to continue to be amazing this year in Camille Pierre. You also do bring in a couple of freshmen as well. This team does add in 2 freshmen on the roster. We'll see ultimately, if they get playing time or whatnot. But we do have Destiny Lunan, who has joined the team this season. And sorry, I don't have a graphic for her. She was ranked number 65 in the 2025 Hoop Girls rankings. All right. She is a 4-star and also someone who was the Arizona Gatorade Player of the Year and the Max Preps Player of the Year as well. She finished her college year averaging 20.6 points per game, 3.1 assists per game, 4.2 steals per game, and 4.6 rebounds a game. And she had a triple-double in high school as well. That is Destiny Lunan. And apologies, I don't have a graphic of her. But actually, I can actually just share my screen. Actually, that might be better. So you all can see who these players are. Because they do, NC State does have some pretty good freshmen hopping in. Again, would they play a ton? I don't think so, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. All right. All right, so here is Destiny Lunan, the one of the newest freshmen on the squad. All right. Continuing on, we also have another freshman on the team as well. Her name is Adelaide, and she is coming from Winston-Salem. This is someone who, again, ranked number 68 in the Hoop Girls rankings. She was the number 1 recruit in the states of North Carolina. So she's a home state girl who is playing for NC State. This is someone who is a 2-time champion in high school. She also this is a crazy stat, wrapped up her senior season averaging 27.3 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 2.2 assists per game, and 2.5 steals per game. Again, does this mean a ton? Not totally. It's impressive, sure, but we have to couch it in that this is high school and she's going to college. And so we'll see ultimately what she does for NC State, how many minutes she gets, all that good jazz. All right. But let's move on to the other players for NC State. You have, in my opinion, two of the bigger players returning for this team. Number one, we have to talk about Zam Jones, because Zam Jones, in my opinion, she is someone who was really, really good last season, right? Zam Jones is someone who was a freshman last year. She's a sophomore now. She has a year under her belt, but she was big time for the Pack, right? Averaged 7.1 points per game, 1.5 assists per game for NC State last year. Seventh in 3-point field goals made for NC State last season. She is someone who can knock down big shots and is not afraid of the pressure. Now, as a sophomore, she is going to be getting, and also now that this team does have some holes from last year, she's going to get a lot of minutes. And I'm excited to ultimately see what she can do, because last year she averaged roughly around 15, 16 minutes per game. And so you can expect her to probably get to that like 20, 25 minutes per game type of thing. We might even see her starting at some points throughout the season. We'll kind of see how that goes. But actually, she might start a significant amount throughout the season. I think she's going to be a fun player to watch this season for NC State, and I think it should be really fun to see. I think it should be really, really fun to see. Okay. And also a fun fact, just so you all know, Zam actually did start in the preseason game. So like maybe that's an indication that she might actually be a starter for this team come this season. But yeah, that should be cool. Another player who was absolutely lights out last year that I'm excited to see play this year is, where is she? Her name is Zoe Brooks, y'all. Zoe Brooks, hopefully y'all remember her last year, because she was right alongside Sanaya Rivers and Isaiah James as one of the best players on the team last year. She was absolutely amazing for this squad last season, right? Last season, Zoe Brooks started every single game for the Wolfpack. And she was knocking down shots left and right. 14.2 points per game last season. You know, she was absolutely doing her thing. 3.7 assists per game for Zoe Brooks. Zoe Brooks is one of those players that can do a little bit of everything. Meaning, remember last year? Remember just in general. This is someone who has a triple-double with NC State. And so that's pretty amazing. And this is also someone who is looking to be the star that we know that she is, right? That's what we're looking for her to be. This is someone who she was a part of the Plum Dog class, and so that was kind of cool. After her season last year as a sophomore, this is someone who, you know, logged 28 double-digit scoring games for the Wolfpack last year. She was an All-American honorable mention for the WBCA. And she's just someone who has a knack for hitting big shots. She's not afraid of the moment. And I guarantee you, Zoe Brooks, she's going to have a bigger spotlight, a bigger green light, and you can expect her to get closer to that 15 point per game type of mark. 15 points, 16 points per game mark for Zoe Brooks, or even close to 20. Like she's a walking bucket. A walking bucket. So again, imagine. Here's the thing. Imagine this. We have Zoe Brooks. We have Camille Pierre. Right? We have Tilda Trieger. I want to talk about Tilda Trigger real quick because Tilda Trigger is another player who I thought had a masterful year last year. I thought she was a fun player to watch. Now, to be honest with you guys, I didn't really know who Tilda Trigger was up until last season. She is a 6'6" Swedish star, guys. Last season, she was named to the ACC All-Freshman team, and the reason why is because she was flat out fantastic as a freshman. She didn't start off the year starting games, but she ultimately did end up getting into the starting lineup. She averaged 6.6 points per game, 4.9 rebounds per game. This is someone who knows how to block shots, right? She knows how to get to her spots and make the right shot. Now, she didn't average a ton of points last year, but she was super efficient last year. Super efficient. She led the team in field goal percentage, shooting 52% from the field. She also can make three-pointers. She made 10 three-pointers last year. 10. And shot 7, and she also shot 72% from the free throw line, which is really good for, well, it's pretty good for a post player, especially a 6'6" player. Just saying. Tilda Trigger is in a lot of ways going to be an X factor for NC State this year. She's gonna be a straight up X factor because she is a big body who can, yes, score down low and knock down shots, but also can fire a three every now and then as well. And so those are some of the players on NC State. You got some really good players. Zam Jones, Zoe Brooks, Camille Pierre, Tilda Trigger. And you have Cadence Samuels. This team for NC State. Now, at first, I wasn't as crazy about this team, but as I was preparing for the stream, I started rewatching stuff about these some of the players I just kind of mentioned and just putting it all together. Does this team have the deepest bench? They don't. No. I would say they don't have the deepest bench. But I'd say this. Their starting lineup is going to be pretty good. Their starting lineup is going to be pretty good. And of course, you got the rest of the team. Let's just go through them real quick. Make sure everybody gets some love. Let's just go through the rest of the team. We have Devin Quigley, who played in a bunch of games last season. Last season, she was a freshman. Now she's a sophomore. So a year under her belt. She played in, I believe, 33 of the games last year for NC State. Didn't score a ton, right? But this is someone who can shoot the three. About a 36% three-point shooter. And so that's something to watch out for when she does come in for some games this year. Expect her to try to knock down some shots. We also have Lorena Owu, who is a 6'5" center for NC State. Remember, she is a sophomore also. Last year, she did play in about 31 of the games and did get some decent minutes, and I'm excited to see ultimately what she does to kind of just continue to improve. Because again, she's tall. And what do basically all teams really want? They want someone who's tall, who can get rebounds, and who can score. Right? And so that's something that she can do. Also, fun fact, she did have 2 points and 8 rebounds and 2 blocks against Michigan State in the round of 32 last year for NC State. That was a game against Michigan State. So that's Lorena Owu. Also, she's from East Moline. So shout out to East Moline. Shout out. Anyway, let's continue on. We already talked about Cadence Samuels, so we're not going to talk about her again. We also talked about Zam Jones, talked about Destiny Lunan. talked about Adelaide already. Maddie Cox. Y'all, let's talk about Maddie Cox. Isn't she Lauren Cox's sister? I forgot to look that up. But I believe she's Lauren Cox's sister. Anyway, Lauren Cox, who was like a really good women's college basketball player back in the day. She is in her junior year. And we'll see what she can do. Last year, she primarily she entirely did come off the bench for NC State. Didn't average that many minutes, but she is someone who just can kind of get in where she fits in. She's not going to average a ton of points this year again, but we'll ultimately just kind of see what she does. I don't know. She can get rebounds, right? But do I expect her to get a ton of minutes? Probably not. But she's there. She can just be an additional sort of depth type of player for NC State that they can rely on if injuries happen or whatnot. All right. Then we already talked about Camille Pierre. We talked about Tilda Trieger. We talked about Zoe Brooks. Mallory Collier, 6'3", junior out of Tennessee. Not that she attended the University of Tennessee, but you get what I'm saying. Anyway, for Mallory, I mean, she's another player who I think will be a impactful sort of bench type of player for this team. She did start in a couple games last season. I could probably see a similar thing this year. When she does get in the game, she can knock down some buckets. Shot about 57% from the field last year. Another player who can get some points, get some rebounds, and just kind of get in where she fits in for NC State. So that is your look at NC State this year. I think this is going to be a good team, a team that they're ranked number 9 in the AP poll for a reason. They're good. They got some really good players. And again, Camille Pierre, in my opinion, will be the ACC Player of the Year. All right, so I've put a stake in the ground. She is going to be the ACC Player of the Year. That is my belief. We'll see what happens, but that's truly what I think is going to happen, because she is flat out amazing. Flat out amazing, and you all will witness it this year. So that's your look at NC State. Hopefully that was interesting for you all. But truly, this team is going to look pretty good this year. Like, again, very different from last year, but they're going to look pretty good. All right, let's move on and talk about the WNBA real quick. Let's talk about Dominique Malanga. Dominique Malanga, who was was his number 2 pick in the 2025 WNBA draft. I thought she had a really good season. Didn't start off where she played a ton of minutes, but as the season went on, we saw the Storm kind of give her a lot more minutes, and we saw her just kind of make an impact and sort of get in where she fits in, right? This is someone who is not in Europe right now. She's not in Europe. She's not playing right now. But she's not playing because she's actually recovering from a surgery. If you didn't know, she actually got injured in August of this past season, and while she did ultimately miss 2 games this season, this is someone who was very impactful for the Seattle Storm. She averaged 7.7 points per game this season, 4.6 rebounds per game this season, as well as the number 2 draft pick. And if you all are thinking, what? That's all she averaged? She couldn't have been that great, and yada, yada, yada. Here's the thing. In my opinion, the Seattle Storm did not play her right. She didn't get a ton of minutes early on in the season, but in August, I would consider her best month for the Seattle Storm. She played more minutes, and as a result, got more points. In August alone, Dominique Malanga averaged 13 points per game, 7.2 rebounds per game. And that was still and she was still injured in August as well. And if she had not been injured in August, maybe, her impact in the playoffs would have been even bigger, and maybe the Seattle Storm could have beaten the Aces. I'm just saying. Anyway, Dominique Malanga did give us an update, and I gotta say, I love when players actually go on social media themselves and break their own news instead of relying on. Yes, Lynette, I do agree. She should have started ahead of Ezzy. And I feel like I talked about that throughout the season, how I wanted Dominique Malanga to start. I thought she was good enough to start, but yeah, she didn't start. Anyway, Dominique Malanga broke the news herself about her injury status, and I wanted to talk about that because I love when players just break your own news. Don't rely on the media to break it for you. Don't do no interview and put it in your own words. Put it out there and have people react to it, and that's what Dom did. And I wanted to kind of go through it real quick.
Watch me get a cast. Well, I'm telling you about my injury.
So, maybe some of you were wondering why I wasn't in Turkey yet. Well, I think this will answer all of the questions. So, I got injured before the end of the season. I dislocated the tendon of my wrist during a game, and actually when it happened, I thought it was my bone because I could see my tendon moving inside my wrist, and so I was like, did I move my bone? But no, it wasn't. I did an x-ray, it was clear, so my bone was fine. But it was still really scary. But well, we still had 6 more regular season games to play, and then the playoffs, so I had to play through it. And so maybe some of y'all noticed that I taped my wrist since then. Till the end of the season, I played with the tape, and it was pretty fine. It wasn't really painful. It was more annoying at some point because my tendon would just keep popping out, and I just had to put it back in place every time. So it was really interesting. However, as soon as the season ended, I decided to go through surgery to fix it as early as I could because I didn't want it to become a bigger problem later in my career. So now I'm in the recovery process. I'm 2 weeks post-surgery, and I think I'm doing great. So it's 6 weeks in total in the cast. So I had 2 first week in a softer cast than the one that they are putting on right now, for the incision to heal. So now that the incision is healed, they're putting the hard cast on for next week. And then after these 4 weeks, I will take the cast off and try to find some range of motion back again. But yeah, I still see the positive part though in this injury because I just get to rest here in Seattle, and I feel like I needed that. It's been a while that I didn't have some time off, and yeah, just the time to breathe and refocus. So that's what I'm doing. I just trying to do things that I never had the time to do in season, and I kind of enjoy myself here. So I would say that that's the positive part of being a little bit away from the court for a moment, just to refocus and being able to rest and breathe a little bit. So yeah, so I had a blue cast because they didn't have black, but I'm still happy. They did great, the nurse did great, so I'm grateful.
All right, so that is what Dominique Malanga had to say. And again, I just love when players break their own news. Tell us what's going on from your vantage point because you're the one experiencing it, and then have the people write the articles and all that stuff from there. Okay? Keating says, Quita, is this the same / similar injury that Angel Reese had? Angel Reese also had a wrist injury towards the end of last season. And honestly, when I first saw this video from Dominique Malonga, I was like, Angel also had an injury at the end of her rookie year. But yeah, they both had wrist injuries, and so that's a thing. Wrist injuries are, hey, it happens to basketball players, and it's very understandable. So yeah, that's what happened, and so yeah, I did want to give you that update. Also, actually, I don't think we actually have time for this. I was going to do a quick segment about Alex Samra, the new head coach for Portland Fire. But I think what I'll have to do is I will record that later and post that later today because I have to hurry up and run to go to something. So again, I gotta go. But thank y'all so much for watching. What did y'all think about the sort of team preview for NC State? Did y'all like it? Did y'all not like it? Overall, let me know your thoughts. Also, we'll be doing this for all the various teams. And so, like, to make sure that I do one for your team, post it in the chat what teams you all really want to see a preview for, and we'll go down the line and we'll talk about it, okay? But again, I do want to say thank you for watching. And as always, guys, y'all have a great day. Be kind to each other. Tell somebody that they matter because they absolutely do. Absolutely do. And so, yeah. See you on the next one. Until next time, guys. I was trying to think of something odd to do. I did it before. So long. Farewell to you, my friend. Goodbye for now until we meet again. It's been great to talk about women's basketball together as the awesome people of the internet, but now it's time to say goodbye. So long, farewell to you, my friend. Goodbye for now until we meet again. Bye-bye.
Are you ready?
Ready, set, go.